Hi, I'm Morty from Gnauflins. I'm excited to give you a peek into tonight's dinner for me and my family. We're having nachos, and of course with nachos you need to have guacamole. And our guacamole is lacto-fermented, so I'm going to show you how we make that. Now, just a bit about lacto-fermentation. It's a traditional method of food preservation, and it makes foods incredibly beneficial for you. There's an explosion of vitamins, enzymes, and also beneficial organisms that help improve your immune system and your digestive system. So that's why I've made it my personal challenge to try to lacto-ferment anything I can, and also why my family tries to have a lacto-fermented food at every meal. And we pretty much do it, and it's pretty much easy. And making guacamole lacto-fermented is just one easy way to turn what you're already eating into something that's even more beneficial for you. So what we've got here is already quartered avocado. There's 2 avocado. They're a little bit on the large side. I have 3 cloves of garlic that I'm going to mash up here in my mortar and pestle. My mortar and pestle is olive wood from Israel. I have a Middle Eastern background, and on one visit to the Middle East, my parents brought me back this mortar and pestle. Okay, once this is done, the garlic's going to go in with the avocado. And we need salt, of course. A high quality sea salt will provide trace minerals, so that's what I recommend using. This is fine Himalayan sea salt. And you're going to need anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon. Just start with 1/4 teaspoon, and if you need to add more, do. You can always add more salt, but it's hard to take it out if it's too much. Okay, that's your basic no frills guacamole right there, all mashed together. But what I do to lacto-ferment it is I add 1 to 2 tablespoons of whey. Now this is the whey that's dripped off of my raw cheese or kefir or yogurt. If it's raw, you can use it. This is not the same whey like whey protein, and you can't use the whey off cheese that's been heated either. So it's got to be raw. It's got to have an active colony of beneficial organisms in here called lactobacilli. That's the kind of bacteria that does lacto-fermentation. They are everywhere. In fact, you can ferment foods without adding whey to the food because the naturally present organisms will do the job of fermentation. But I'm adding whey to give this a start. And adding whey is adding whey, spelled W-H-E-Y, is a way, spelled W-A-Y, to speed up your fermentation process because you're giving this food an active colony of beneficial organisms from the beginning. And what they're going to do is they're going to feast on the sugars in the food, and they're going to give off acids. And the bacteria will proliferate, and those beneficial organisms plus the acid, the lactic acid that they give off, are natural means of food preservation. Both of them keep putrefying organisms away, so your food doesn't spoil. Of course, you do need to keep your foods in cool storage when it's done fermenting. That's just something you got to do. So I'm mashing this all up, and of course you could use a food processor. I like a chunky guacamole myself, but it's up to you what you do. When I'm done mashing this to my liking, clean off the sides of the bowl with the fork and smooth the top. And how lacto-fermentation works is leaving the food out for about 7 hours, 7 to 8 hours minimum, at room temperature, so that the wild organisms, the lactobacilli, can eat and proliferate and produce their acids. And we just want to cover this during that time. Now here's the big issue, just going to warn you ahead of time. You know what happens with guacamole, right? It turns brown. Well, this is no exception. This is going to turn brown. but it's only going to turn brown on the very top layer. Underneath, it's going to still be bright green. So what you can do about that is either mix it all together and it will just dim the green of the whole dish. That's fine. Or you can just skim off that top brown layer. There's nothing wrong with it. You can eat it yourself and serve the family the bright green stuff. Totally up to you, but just don't be alarmed. That's normal behavior. And remember, after 7 to 8 hours, do move it to the refrigerator. Enjoy it. Let me know how it goes for you. I'm excited for you to give it a try.